It's about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jeranism back with another video for you today. This video is in regards to the Flat Earth Conspiracy Channel, or as I now call it, the Lori, Moe, and Ronnie Show. You might know them better as the group that not only proposed a new model, which would be fine, but most recently said, and I quote, "The only way the Flat Earth works is with the Pac-Man model map." You have seen the Pac-Man model map, right? Yeah, Pac-Man. Go, Packy, go, go. Yeah. Go, Packy, go, go. Alright, well that was easy to get rid of them. If only. Well, if you watched any of their shows, I'm sorry. I understand the pain. Normally I let others be, but when they start telling lies and putting forth evidence that no one is even claiming is true, well then it's time I step in and return some order to these here flat parts. So, I just don't get the appeal of the show. Here's a recent episode I watched. You tell me.
Well, Lawrence, I'm sorry that, we see these...
So, I just don't see the appeal of the show. Maybe it's just me. But alright, let's get serious. Sometimes I make these videos, some people say I shouldn't. Some say we should all get along. You'll hear me actually say it. But sometimes people start lying and showing their bad research, and at that point, I'll just say I'm done. And that's what I've done here. They have joined the Reds Rhetoric territory. That's the territory of people who I just don't watch their videos anymore. Why would I? You've shown me that you do shitty research. You've shown me that you're disrespectful, that you have no integrity, and that you just laugh at others while telling lies. So I'll point out a few things, and you can choose to watch them if you want. Doesn't bother me. You can choose to unsub them because the path that they're recommending is paved with disinfo, or you can unsub me. I really don't care. I started this channel with just the intention of searching for truth and putting my research out there for people to follow along. If you think that I've lied to you or you think I'm leading you down the wrong path, unsub me now, today, right now. Do it. Seriously. Unsub. Go watch the Three Stooges over there so you can hear Lori tell more people to shut up and then pat each other on the back for their shitty research. Good job, Lawrence. Nice research, Ronnie. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, Lawrence. And those in the audience who recognize our unfettering search for truth. Gag me.
Let's take a look what he has to say. So here we go. Off we go.
He claims that it showed Southwest the entire time he was awake. Let me show you a flat Earth map so you can get an idea of why that's a big deal. Now,
oh dear, he said let me show you a flat Earth map so we can show you why that's a big deal.
Oh, look at that. What map is that, Lawrence?
I did say let me show you a flat Earth map, correct?
Let me show you a flat Earth map so you can get an idea of why that's a big deal.
Okay, I was just making sure. And Lawrence heard me, right?
Now, oh dear, he said let me show you a flat Earth map so we can show you why that's a big deal.
Okay, we're all good. A flat Earth map.
I think that might be the Gleason map. And
okay, and he very specifically called that the flat Earth map.
Excuse me?
He very specifically called that the flat Earth map.
Well, Lawrence, here's your chance to prove to me you have some integrity. You're going to stand up and say, actually, Lori, you misquoted him. He didn't specifically say the, he said Where's your integrity?
Okay.
Let me show you a flat Earth map, and that's on the 24th of June. So,
I see what kind of operation you guys are running over there. Shit show.
We have Globebusters talking about free energy. Now let's see what they have to say about free energy. Okay, so let's bring this one up.
You know, in his video called Fourth Dimension, explaining that Earth is a flat square, I I think that it's that video alone, if you watch it, because the beginning has Sagan talking, and he's explaining, and I think it does an excellent job of explaining what would happen in a 2D world to a 3D question. You know, and in fact, in a 2D world, if a sphere were to show up, but the people in the 2D world would not be able to describe the cube as anything other than the square that they see, right? But then in a 3D world, same thing would happen with us trying to be able to describe what happens in a 4D world. That we don't understand it, so we can't begin to rationalize it. But then it kind of led me to thinking that what might be the truth, though, is that if you look at the sphere model, which they have given us, because when you measure any different direction, or they think that you come back around the other side, so it must be a ball. But really, if there's no curvature on said ball, then you have to say, well, it might be because of what he's showing, this realm. And that would explain away, well, there's no curvature, but you do always show up where you basically came from. And then when you look at it and you kind of expand that out into infinity, and you realize that we are kind of everywhere. And it's kind of hard to explain, and you'd have to watch the video and really try and understand what he's saying, because it took a while explaining it to my wife, and she was, giving back to me and saying, no, I don't see it. And explaining to her, by the end, she's like, oh, I totally do see it. That when physicists talk about multi-dimensions and they talk about multiple galaxies, they talk about it as in there's like me somewhere else doing something different, right? Like there's a me who went up to this point of its life and then veers off the path right now doing something different. And these are the multiple, unending infinity of universe. Well, that does not make sense to me. That is like ridiculous, because who was inside that other person? And, is it me? Is it so that I can't rationalize? But in his model, we are every other universe. Not saying that we are there doing something different, but that we exist everywhere because we are the only thing that exists. So if you look at kind of the whole idea of why do we see, if I can go west from here in California, why do I show up over there? Well, it's because I was also coming from that other side. Does that make sense?
Yes, I get you.
Yeah, so I mean, it totally really starts to settle with me, because then you start to see different things, and then you can even explain some things that regular science doesn't explain, like...
So, yeah, listening to that, though.
Wait a minute. Did he just say that he understood Pac-Man theory?
Yeah, he seems very, very positive about it there, Laurie. But when I listened to the show last week, the 4-hour show, Jaron did seem to be taking a slightly different attitude. Shall we have a listen to what he said there? Here we go.
Ooh, I changed my mind. You guys got me. Let me explain why. If you're at Santiago, Chile, which is number 1 on this map, and you start moving to the west, and we know that you come back over on the east, over at number 3, well, I thought that was because, at what makes sense to me, if I'm also at location number 2, while I'm at number 1, and I'm moving west, I'm not morphing, I'm not going through any Pac-Man portals. I was saying I exist in all those places. Therefore, it made sense to me that I could be going west from number 1, but I'm also going west from number 2 when I enter the map at number 3. Does that make sense? And that I would also be entering at number 4, coming from further on. So that's what I was talking about, and I started to look into this map and say, hey, this could make some sense. This I could understand, because I'm not going through any portals. I'm not disappearing and reappearing. And so that's what I was saying on the show, that I liked the idea, that it made sense to me to think that we are everywhere in the universe, kind of like I'm at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're everywhere. But there's a mistake in this map, and it took me a week to find it. It's called research. When I started looking deeper into this map, I realized there's a problem. If I'm in Alaska, so now we're looking at the yellow numbers, and I'm at number 1, and I go north, you would think I come out at number 2, correct? Because I'm also coming out at number 3, just like we just saw. Nope, that's not the case. With this map, if you go out number 1, you come in number 4. That's how the map would have to work, right? You don't go north of Alaska and come out from Antarctica. So, for instance, if you leave Australia at number 5, you come out at number 6. That's called portals. That's called Pac-Man. That's called disappearing. That's called Star Trek. That's called make-believe. That's called bullshit. Doesn't happen. Sorry. So I changed my mind. Kind of like you guys should have done when you thought of having a show. Now.
Welcome back to reality.
I was going to say, I'm trying to figure out a good place to actually start.
It's good to mention too that it's not a portal map. It's not a Pac-Man map.
No.
Because I think that's important for people to know that, because it's something that the reason I got into this all is because you can see what's in front of you. I think we were meant to just be able to take the world as it is. So when you start hearing about portals, and I know I've personally flown from San Francisco to the Philippines, so I don't really think I went through any kind of portal. So it's just important, I think, to point that out too before getting.
How would you know? You think we wouldn't have discovered them by now if we were obvious? It was obvious we were going through them. I mean, come on. Oh, I just went through a portal. Did you feel it?
Okay, I'll stop with that, but that is hilarious.
Yeah. So what we have there's quite a bit of contradiction there. So these are sort of all in collaboration with each other. And you move out some more, and now you get the repeating space. So if you look on this bit here, there's Africa, and then you've got Australia, South America, then back to Africa again, and then to Australia, back to South America. And you come out some more. This is as far out as it goes, and you get the repeating Earths, which does tie in well with the free energy model, because this is what shows up on all these models.
What happens if you go north from Alaska, Lawrence?
The fourth dimension, the repeating space, is the reality that we have, but we can't see it because we're trapped in the third dimension. So anyway, I'll give you those.
Very nice, Lawrence.
Chat with Event Skeptic about that and what you think about it, and I'll gather myself together for some other stuff.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah, very nice, Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. Very good job. Do you have any other nonsense? You can be like Ronnie and present this equatorial sundial, even though it's not on the equator, and we can all watch the apex of the pyramid rather than the posts, like a sundial. Let's listen to Mr. Good Guy Lawrence again, shall we?
A good way to sort of test the water is go and have a look at these videos that are promoting a false model, and you read the comments. I'm just going to show you one. We'll quickly go through.
Trust me, I know, Lawrence.
Just so you can see how fucking ignorant so many flat earthers are, praising a video that's pushing a false model. Let's take a look at this one, and it was by Fouquet Word, and he's done this thing in his room with one of these fans moving round to simulate the sun and the moon and stuff, and he's got this marker in the middle of his floor which he says signifies the North Pole.
You mean he's not doing anything other than demonstrations? He's doing examples and representations? He's not just pretending to be important and playing back clips from Globebuster shows? What a shill.
Potatoes. I just watched this and find it the clearest explanation thus far, Nick. Thank you. This is a great video to share whenever the question comes up. So Patricia Steer is saying, let's share this great video which is pushing a false model, with the North Pole at the centre. Taboo conspiracy, excellent demonstration. Fouquet would, yes, I think we can map things this way, hoping many will make observations. Added to my best flat earth video list from Migmag. Thanks for your work, mate. I really appreciate that. Durate, ingenious, very clear demonstrations should be understandable even for the most programmed people.
God, you're making me sick. That's so amazing.
Perfect.
Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't. He never even played the video. Can you imagine making fun of a video and all the comments on it when you never showed anybody the video?
Hold on, Lawrence. What, Ronnie?
Well, what I'm depicting here with the shadows of the Pyramid of Giza also explains the path of the sun as well, and how it exposes the multiple sides that we don't really notice. And Carl Sagan was the one who did the video about the tower in, was it Cyrene? And the shadow was so long, and then he went north, and the shadow, and how he calculated the distance of the Earth. And, these are the small things that the globularists are going to just eat us apart with, and...
Was that you trying to tell the story of Aristophanes? Pretty sure that's what you were just trying to do. Not positive, but you mentioned a tower in Cyrene. Is that what you were trying to talk about? And please stop being so afraid of, the geologists are going to come get us. The globulists are going to come get us. Who cares? There's no curve. Come get us.
Part of the reason why I'm speaking out with you guys and Lawrence is because we want to win. We want the truth to prevail. I don't want to be a part of a cult that is dogmatist to making things circle, when in reality, right, they don't.
Much different approach than I've been taking. I'm into losing and untruths. And I'm going to start a cult that is dogmatist to making things circle. I can see it now. Things circling everywhere. Circling here, circling there. Lori, can you please provide some rational talk to this conversation? Please, Lori. Come on, Lori.
At some point, believe me, we're going to hit a critical mass where they won't be able to play this anymore. They won't be able to continue this circle thing, because when people apply themselves and really look at the evidence, it doesn't take very long. It doesn't take very much for them to see what we're talking about. So there's another awakening that has to happen. When people think they woke up to flat Earth, that's the only part of it. That's only the beginning of the awakening. The rest of the awakening that happens after that is where they look in and they look out and they look around and they become a one with the world, with themselves in the earth, okay? And then they will start to see and observe what's going on.
Oh, okay. Look in, look out, look around, become one with the world, then you'll be able to see what's going on. Okay.
Well, can I just share one more thing?
I muted you, Lawrence, so a minute ago, because you were making a bunch of racket, so you'll have to unmute yourself.
I got something for Lawrence here to look at in my email.
Okay.
Open source truth seeking at its finest. Lawrence, this message came in for you to look at this.
All right, here comes open source truth seeking at its finest. Now, a few points about this. First, something I can't show evidence of, but a few people watched it live, and so hopefully somebody has my back here. But I was on a hangout just the other night with Ronnie and was trying to have a conversation with him about these things before I made this video. Didn't go as well as I would have liked. I was planning on going back and getting some quotes that he put in there, and he's already taken the little hangout down. So for some reason he said something in there he didn't want people to know. It might be that he said when I questioned him on this little diagram that they're going to show here in a second, and I was saying, who brought this up? Whose map is this? He claims that Lawrence and Lori both told Ronnie to present this, and yet they're both sitting here pretending like they've never seen it, reading it for the first time. Ooh, look at Lawrence looking there like he's never seen it before. I wonder what this is, Lawrence. You have the integrity of a bush. And I mean the president's, not the plant. Plant has way more integrity.
Okay, what does it say, mate?
Okay, can we see the screen?
Yep, go ahead.
So is this correct? The false AE disk model contains 60% more area than the globe?
That's right, yeah.
Verifiable with GPS, UTM coordinate systems? Oh, I would agree with that.
Verifiable what? With what?
Verifiable with GPS and UTM coordinate grid system. How? GPS is based on the globe. So you can't just say that the AE model contains 60% more area verifiable by GPS? What's that even mean? Anyway, let me explain why these clowns think they debunked the AE map. Everyone pay attention to the circled area where it says equator. It says 39,112 miles. I challenge Lawrence, or I challenge Lori, or Ronnie, or Larry Moe, or Curly, whoever I'm talking to. Please show me one time, one person, one utterance of the fact that the equator on the AE map is 39,112 miles. The equator is 24,901 miles. So who made up these numbers? You guys are debunking nothing. Bullshit. Nonsense. Make-believe. Where did you come up with this stuff?
UTM Grid Systems.
Ronnie, who's put this out? Who is it?
I don't know if they want me to put their name. Somebody, I believe his name is Timmy, something Tim.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that's good.
One second.
People are slowly waking up to the fact that they've been hoodwinked into going with a completely false model. So, yeah, wait, it's dribs and drabs.
Can you show us this? Can you show us this, please? Because I want to see what they came up with.
So Sydney to Santiago is 15,889 miles on the AE equidistant projection.
That's a ice rink. Myth equals bait.
Yeah, that's well.
They've got a sense of humor at least, haven't they?
Yeah. That's funny. You know.
Oh, not the map PDF. Yeah, I couldn't see that. You sent it me, but I couldn't download it. It wouldn't let me download it.
It's interesting that it says flatearthconspiracy.com on the bottom.
Nice.
That's where they got the information from our video.
Oh, it's your guys' information. So you're debunking your own bullshit numbers, which you made up and put on a map that somebody else sent to you but has your website name on it. Okay. I guess I get it.
So the other muscle, old Jesuit Freemason propaganda to protect their North Pole hoax.
Yeah, are you listening, Jaron and Bob? Are you listening?
Revived in recent times by NASA PSYOPs.
Oh, fake.
Let him talk, Lawrence. I want to hear.
Yeah, Lawrence, Jaron and Bob are trying to hear that the map that you made with fake numbers is false and how you debunked it. Come on, let us hear it.
Be quiet for a second.
49,000 miles, the Tropic of Capricorn. Here's the one. If you're in a debate with a globular person, make sure you tell them the ice wall is 78,225 miles.
Well, you know what? I hope Jaron gets this because he did some kind of convoluted math thing on Globebusters the other night that I was trying to listen to, and I'm like, where is he getting this formula, and where are these numbers coming from?
I mean, where could he be getting the formula that the area of a circle is pi times r squared? Wherever could he be getting that formula and the numbers he's using? Wherever could he be doing it from? And you're lucky I got to hear this one, even though it will be the last show of yours I watch. Believe me, I have better things to do than watch the shit show. Now, let me explain it to you like you're a third grader, Lori. The equator is 24,901 miles. Nothing changes because you put it on an azimuthal map. Why would it change? Who says that the equator is longer? Who said that? Name one person. Show it to me. Or else you're just debunking nonsense. Let's continue. Then I said that the ice ring, based on Captain Cook, Wilkes, Magellan, and others, is probably about 50,000 miles. So I said 50,000 miles then becomes the circumference times 0.318 equals 15,901 miles is the diameter. Then I said the radius is half of the diameter. So the radius equals 7,950. Then I said the area of a circle, the formula for that is pi times r squared. I got that from a math book or from online. Look up area of a circle. I hope everyone at home can follow along. This is very convoluted. So 3.14, which is pi, times 7950, which is the radius, times 7950, which is squared, equals 198,455,850 square miles. Show me your little chart again. Well, look at that. Over on the right-hand side where it says the globe, 196.9 million square miles. Yet you guys claim that the azimuthal equidistant is 2.5 times bigger in area than the globe, which it's not. The fake numbers that you have on the left side are bullshit. They're fake because you put them there. You made up those numbers. You have debunked absolutely nothing. Well, besides the theory that I would ever watch one of your shows again. Debunked.
And he was saying that the ice wall was 50,000 miles based on what Captain Cook's diary said, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
When was Captain Cook, like 1541 or something? Come on.
Captain Cook died on his third journey, which was in 1779, so 1541 was only 238 years off, which is actually longer than he's been dead. That's good info, Lori. Where do I sign up to watch more of your shit show? I'm sure we should all be listening to Lori because she's definitely sailed all the southern seas. She's also considered one of the greatest explorers that ever lived, isn't she? If I was her, I'd explore the delete channel button, which is somewhere in the back room for YouTube.
You can't, we have no idea where Captain Cook went and how long he spent at any one given place. And so what if his logs say this or that? It's okay to take in that information, but then upon verifying it, it's impossible. I mean, and besides that, I've posted multiple times on this channel the 3 trips that Captain Cook took, and he's zigzagging all over the freaking place. He's all up around the North Pole, and he's all down, down in Australia and New Zealand. And
so if you use that lump 3 feet above your ass, you might consider, the greatest explorer of all time zigzagged up and down. He's all over the place. He's doing 360s in circles. Or is that just what they show us because he had to go 60,000 miles? Let me show you some important research regarding the Magellan trip. The journal was written by Antonio Pigafetta, and you'll notice here he says, it is supposed that all the circumference of the Earth is divided into 360 degrees. Each degree is 17 leagues and a half. Consequently, the circumference of the Earth is 6,300 leagues. Land leagues are of 3 miles and sea leagues of 4 miles. Okay, so note that. He's the one claiming that a league is 4 miles in the sea. On a side note, somebody sent me this, and you'll see down below it says a league is the equivalent of 3 nautical miles, which isn't at all what we just read. But then again, this document also states that in May of 1493, that a papal bull was issued that talked about the North and South Pole, which nobody had even sailed around the world yet. Here we have an article on Ferdinand Magellan, and we see that his voyage of 14,460 leagues was the equivalent of 43,400 miles. Let's check the math on that. When we do the math and multiply the 14,460 by 4 nautical miles, as was stated by Pigafetta, we get 57,840 miles. It's only about 15,000 off the given number. Let's read Wikipedia. They always got the facts, right? So it says up here at the top, the full extent of the globe was realized since their voyage was 14,460 Spanish leagues, or 37,000 miles. Now, are you guys starting to notice here a little issue? They're trying awfully hard to lie to us about the amount of miles this trip was, even though the writer of the book said 4 miles per league. But again, this one here says now it's 37,000 miles. Again, we just did the math. It's 57,000 miles. Here yet again, we see another of the books by Antonio Pigafetta, and he shows again 14,460 leagues. And remember, he said earlier that the circumference of the Earth was 6,300 leagues. So 6,300 times 4 is 25,200, which is only less than 300 off the current measurements. Last interesting point, also from the same book. During those 3 months and 20 days, we went into an open sea while we ran 4,000 leagues in the Pacific Sea. This was well named Pacific, for during this time we met with no storm. Now let's think about this. So 4,000 times the 4,000 is 16,000 miles. Here I stretched a line from the very tip of South America all the way up to Japan, and I get 10,500 miles. So we've got a lot of unaccounted for travels in the Pacific Ocean, don't we? And lastly, here I try and zigzag the line a little bit more to see what kind of distance I get, and I get 12,500, which is still missing another 3,500 miles, which should tell you that the southern expanse is much greater than we've been told. Lastly, Lori, Mo, and Ronnie, take a look at the Magellan patch from NASA and notice how they pretty much show you exactly what's going on as the boat circumnavigates the flat circle? Or did it go through a portal? Pac-Man.
Over the freaking place. He's all up around the North Pole, and he's all down, down in Australia and New Zealand, and you can't add that as just he stayed on this steady path all the way around the ice, wall, and couldn't find a way in. Well,
wait for it. Here comes possibly the funniest line in the history of the Flat Earth Conspiracy, Lori Moe and Ronnie show. This is classic.
Other people say that was all subterfuge because what he really was doing was looking for the portals.
Well, there's no two places on the map, right, Lawrence? That exceeds that 78. How many?
There's no place on the map where any place is farther away than 12,500 miles from where you are anywhere. Anywhere.
You can go any.
Yeah, if you take the globe and you start at Sarasota, Lawrence always likes to use that one, and you go east and east and east and east and east and come back to Sarasota or anywhere from there. You can't. It can't be farther than 12.
Why is it though? Why is it? Do you think that those on Globebusters just don't get this? It's so obvious.
All right, I hope Bob's watching. Bob, I need you to join me. We need to get this. It is so obvious. Imagine we're in Sarasota, Florida, and we're traveling east. We keep traveling east. We go through the portal. We come through the other side. We end up at Sarasota, Florida. We only traveled 12,500 miles. I know why you're not getting it. I mean, I get it now, but I have a feeling I know why you don't get it, Bob, because you like to think. And you think because Sarasota to the west coast of Australia is 12,500 miles, you're like, what happened to the rest of the distance? And I'm like, portals, dude. Portals. In the great words of Pac-Man, waka 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 waka.
I don't know. I mean,
are they actually stupid?
Really, again, but it's I feel we're at a turning point, Lawrence, Ronnie. I really do. I think that it won't be that much longer before people will stumble upon the real truth of the shape or function of the flat Earth, and when they do, these other people will be irrelevant. No one will go to watch them anymore. No one will care.
Well, you nailed it, Lawrence. We're just stupid. All right, Stooges, I've had about all I can take. Lori, let's see how your little prediction pans out, okay? Enjoy your Globebusters critique shows. Lawrence Wright, he's just sad because he thinks somehow Mark Sargent gave him false info, so he's all butthurt, and all he does all week is cry and cry about Mark, Bob, and myself. If you think I'm kidding, go watch their channel. Count the times he mentions Globebusters. Ronnie, just a backstabber and a liar. He claimed on his very first week on the Lori Moe and Ronnie show that he had contacted me to try and tell me what was wrong with my model, and that I never got back to him. Sad thing is, I have about 4 months of dialogue between Ronnie and myself on Skype about how much he loves my stuff and how much he appreciates the hard work I'm putting in. Then, a week later, after there's no contact, he claims to have tried to contact me many times. One might think that because Skype is the only way that I've ever talked to Ronnie, that would be the go-to way of communicating with me, but I guess he chose other ways because I certainly have no communication from him trying to tell me my model was wrong. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the details of this exactly are, but John LeBon, I saw a comment where he was pointing out that Event Skeptic is a Benedict Arnold, is a traitor. So, John, you'll have to fill me in on these details, but believe me, I've seen it. Lastly, Lori, go to Sarasota, Florida, go 12,500 miles in one direction, and if you get back to Sarasota, well, I'll give you everything that I have or will ever own. It's all yours. You guys are leading people down the wrong path, all because you're all butthurt over something. I have no idea what. Probably your shit show. So everyone, be kind, don't lie, don't make up a map and distances and then debunk it, because it's silly and a waste of time. And speaking of wasting time, I can't afford to spend another minute watching your pat each other on the backathon. I just can't. Nice research, Ronnie. Nice research, Lawrence. Way to go, Lori. Keep Pac-Manning and morphing, and I'll see you guys around. The portal. Open your mind. There's truth inside. This has been Jeranism. Till next time.